I thought I didn't enjoy horror anymore. Hi spooky friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm dedicating a video for reading some spooky books. So I haven't done reading vlogs in quite some time. I'm filming a few at the moment, and I wanted, as a horror reader and it's spooky season, to actually do a spooky reading vlog, which will consist of these books, and we are going to talk about those throughout the video. But I kind of want to just introduce you to what's happening, the format, what's happening. So if you know and you've been on this channel before and you've watched a reading vlog, not any of my recommendation videos, but the vlogs themselves are very all over the place, and I don't really do a check-in when I start the book, when I'm halfway through, and when I'm finished. It's kind of how other creators do their videos, but for me, I'm chaotic and I like to start the video and not talk to you about the books until it's like 3 days after I finish them. So that's what's going to be happening. Just a disclaimer here, if you're wanting a more structured video, that's not what this is going to be. This is chaos in the best way possible. In this video, we have 6 books that I am hoping to read. They consist of a couple new releases, some old release books that have been on my TBR on these shelves for a little while, and 2 new books that are new to me. Starting with my library books, the first one is Mayra by Nicky Gonzalez. This is a new release book which has literally just come out. So that is the first book we're going to be talking about. The other library book is Moonflow by Bitter Gorilla. I don't really know much about this other than I seen the cover and just knew that I had to put the hold on the library. And this book has just come out as well, yeah. So I'm the first person to get this one, so I'm really excited. I'm hoping that I like it, but that is the other book from the library. Then we have books that have been on my TBR for a long time. The first one is Edenville by Sam Rebelein. I don't really know how to pronounce it. This book is your cosmic horror, and I've had it on my shelf since 2023. So I kind of wanted to get moving on these spooky books that have been sat here for way too long. And Edenville was one of those. The other one is a chunky book, and that's the reason I've been putting it off. And that is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This is a chunker. It is so much bigger than books that I usually read. I think it's like 500. It's 595 pages. So this is a Southern Gothic story set in the 1950s, and it's set around a old school for boys, I think. I've seen a lot about it. People love it. It's horrifying to some, and I know that I need to read it because of all of the hype, and it's been here since 2023 as well. So I just need to get to it. I'm scared, but I do have the audio, which is coming out at the start of October. If you don't know, I'm filming this just before the start of October to prepare for the season. This one's going to be perfect for October, so I'm very excited that the audiobook is coming in early October so I can get started on this. Last 2 books on this list are new to me books. That is Halloween Fiend by C.V. Hunt. This is a really short novella which I could read in a day, or in a few hours actually. This is a Halloween book, shock, and yeah, it's about like a ritual on All Hallows Eve. So I usually do this thing where around this time of year I read at least one book that is set around Halloween, and this year I thought I would give myself a little short book. And finally we have Hell House by Richard Matheson. A haunted house story that is terrifying or like sinister. So yeah, I again, like The Reformatory, seen a lot of people talk about Hell House, and it's always like recommended for like the spooky season, so I needed to pick it up, and I thought this vlog would be the perfect opportunity to read Hell House. There you have it. These are the 6 books that are on my TBR for this spooky horror reading vlog. Do stick around if you like this type of content, and I would love to see you come back for other vlogs. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are as well. I will admit I have read 2 of these books already, and I have filmed some b-roll clips, so I will be inserting that next, and then you'll hear my thoughts on those first 2 books. So I have finished Mayra. This book is such a fever dream story. We're following our 2 main characters in this. Well, there's 3. So we follow Ingrid, who gets a message from her friend Mayra. So Ingrid and Mayra, they're estranged friends, but Mayra reaches out to Ingrid and invites her to this remote cottage house, I guess, in the like swamplands of Florida. So Ingrid goes on this journey, meets Mayra in the house, and she learns that she's not alone. So Mayra actually has her boyfriend staying there, and he kind of creates all of these meals and cleans the house, and it's his property essentially. So he's maintaining it, making sure that Mayra and Ingrid are having the best time possible. And it starts off kind of normal, I guess, as normal as can be, but then things start to get really creepy and eerie. The house kind of reminded me of the Winchester house, where there was just so many weird doors, passageways, hidden windows, things that lead to nothing, and so that's the vibe it was giving me, but obviously set in Florida in the swamplands area. It was very atmospheric. I really loved like the descriptions of the surrounding area. Also the house, the way it was described, like I said, was just so hypnotic. Like the Winchester house, it was so chaotic. But that's literally the book. The book is so chaotic. It centers around friendship and how Ingrid and Mayra are kind of like rebuilding that friendship around their memories and kind of getting used to each other as adults, not children. So that was very interesting, and I love that concept. Fever dream stories are very enjoyable for me. I think they're so strange, and this is what that book is. So I really enjoyed reading it. I literally couldn't stop reading. I will say the memories section, where they kind of discuss past activities like during their childhood and stuff, that was a big portion of this book, and I feel if you haven't already connected with our characters, you're not gonna really care about their memories. I feel like we learned a lot about Mayra and Ingrid as people and how they developed over time. It showed good character growth, which kind of did add to the story, but I was more intrigued about the house, which I think is the point of the story. It can create like a weird, like I say, hypnotic state, and I think I was hypnotized because I couldn't stop reading. Before I picked up this book and the other book as well, I thought I didn't enjoy horror anymore, and I was getting really worried that horror just wasn't it for me. But honestly, after reading Mayra and not being able to stop reading, it was incredible. I loved everything about it, and I give it 4 stars. So whilst I say I love everything about it, I kind of felt myself wanting a little bit more, and I think that's why it's a 4-star for me. But overall, incredible book. Definitely one for you to pick up if you haven't. It's very creepy, perfect for spooky season, and yeah, that is Mayra. Okay, so like I said, I finished 2. The second book that I just finished is Edenville. I had this on audio, so I was tandem reading with the audio and the physical book, and wow, this book, if I loved Mayra, I adored Edenville. This was such a cosmic, otherworldly horror story that kind of mixes sci-fi with horror, and I was getting a lot of like H.G. Wells vibes in terms of like the cosmic horror, and that's just an incredible way of writing. And I think this was Sam's first book as well. So essentially Edenville, it's about a man who writes a story, a horror story, and he's written it because he got ideas in a dream, and somehow he gets invited to be a mentor, because he's not a lecturer or professor, but basically in the Edenville college he gets invited to be like a mentor for other writers, for the students, and it seems a bit out of the blue, but he is so excited to take it up and share the knowledge, and his colleagues kind of invite him to continue writing this story, and there's just something else going on in the Renfield County where Edenville is set, and it's just this big massive like otherworld story. And so similar to Mayra, this does have like less of a fever dream style, but very hypnotic, mind-bending read essentially, because it does go deep into the weird, and all of the sci-fi elements of this horror story kind of just made it like you were reading something new and something that horror has been missing in a while. So this kind of brings your gothic, mixes it with a little bit of cosmic horror. It sprinkles in some body horror in there and some weird creatures. It's literally just a simmer pot of all of these different genre tropes, and I just thought it was an incredible read, how it was all interweaved together. And our characters, there was a lot of characters, but I felt like you could kind of follow along with all of our different characters and like their motives for what they've done. It was incredible, and I give it 5 stars. I loved it so much. I couldn't fault it. There was nothing that I wanted more from it. So yeah, it was a 5-star read. I also really enjoyed the audiobook as well. I'm so happy that the first 2 books were great reads for me in this vlog, because that doesn't normally happen, and I can say that I do still enjoy reading horror. So the next books for this video that I should be picking up is Moonflow and Halloween Fiend. So these are the next ones that you might see, but who knows, because I'm chaotic, that may change and I could want to read something else in this stack. But for now, that is where we're at, and the next clips will be some more b-roll. here to give you a roundup on Halloween Fiend and Moonflow. So we'll just get Moonflow out of the way. As you can see, I'm not holding it up for you because I did DNF this book. It was a library hold as well, so it's already gone back to the library. Moonflow, I'll be honest with you, I only give it 20 pages. I just knew that that book wasn't for me. I didn't vibe with it in the time. Maybe if I was in a different headspace, I probably could have marched on through the book, but I decided to just cut my losses, DNF the book, and sent it on its way. Halloween Fiend is a really short novella that is set in a little small town that has a monster called Halloween, and every night you kind of have to give offerings to kind of save yourself from it. On one particular night, something really bad happens and our main character kind of faces off with Halloween over the next few days following this event. And it's really atmospheric. It really felt like you were in a Halloween town. It was very autumnal, kind of creepy in the writing, which was kind of nice considering it's really short. The plot was definitely well developed, like I say. In such a short amount of pages, I really did connect to this story and felt myself rooting for our main character. He's kind of just working and taking care of his dad whilst also avoiding Halloween, the monster, every single night. And it is an interesting story. We're following Barry through something that happens to him and the rest of the town. So think like if Gilmore Girls had a creature feature and it was set on Halloween, that's Halloween Fiend. It's really cute, cozy, but creepy, and I was here for it. I love a good little Halloween number that is set around Halloween as well. This is a perfect read, and it really did set me up for the season. So I really enjoyed reading this book. But I've also done some baking. I also went to Titans of Terror, which is a event that Tim Leben and Christopher Golden hosted. It kicked off in Edinburgh and it was incredible. It was a really fun like conversational event where they were asking each other's questions about their writing process, their inspiration for horror, and what horror means in the sense of writing and the genre in general. I really enjoyed it and they're both really lovely people. So I'm back with another update. So I guess the last thing I was talking to you about was the other books. I also read Hell House and I have finished it. It was an interesting read. It's definitely creepy. It does have your typical haunted house themes and tropes, but it also leans into possession and the vulgar stuff that happens when people are possessed by demons, hypothetically. I really enjoyed the concept, but I didn't love it, you know? So I can appreciate the story and I really loved how it was written and how dark and how deeply unsettling this was. So I appreciate everything that book was trying to do and did deliver. It is kind of like a classic at this point, so I'm kind of glad to have read it. It's very grim and there's death and possession and a deep-rooted storyline. So it's definitely a good read. I also have some bonus books to talk to you about that I didn't mention in my intro, but I have two new releases that I have just read. The first one is Futility by Nuzo Onoh. I loved this book. It was so grim and it is like your typical like female rage story, but very murderous and bloody and gory. I also think that this has a lot of strong demon stuff happening. We're following a woman who owns a restaurant which is very popular. She's known for her soup, which has a special ingredient, and it's just absolute chaos. She is an interesting character. We then also meet our other character that we're focusing on, our two female characters, and they're both really not likable. I didn't enjoy them whatsoever, but I think that was necessary in the writing, which created this really interesting book to read. There is a glossary to explain some of the kind of like slang term or like different things that they say, which is quite good. I'm not from Nigeria, so I don't know those words that are often used in this book. So when it would come up, I'd flick through to the glossary and it does tell you what they mean. So that was really useful. Highly recommend if you love your gross, disgusting, murderous stories, with a little bit of your Nigerian flair. I thought this was a great read and a nice little bonus book for this video. The other bonus book is House of Idyll by Delilah S. Dawson. So I've read 3 of Delilah S. Dawson books now, and my favourite is definitely Guillotine, but House of Idyll is definitely up there. This is a book for you people who love rock and using the kind of stereotypical rock influence in a story to seem devilish. This is not as gross as her other books, but it does lean into darkness and satanic rituals and kind of cult influences as well, and a lot of musical influence too, of course, because that is what the book is based on. Our character is not living the best life. She's pretty poor, basically. She works as a barista and she is a aspiring musician. She posts these reels of songs that she's written and she sings. She gets invited to the House of Idyll, which is like a commune for struggling actors, musicians, models, people who are wanting to achieve something in life but haven't got there. And it's run by Black Idyll, which is a rock band. So it becomes weird and suspicious very quickly. I would say if you loved like Blink Twice or Opus, I didn't like that movie, but it was screaming Opus in this book. So if you like those movies, I hope that's not too much of a spoiler for this book, but it is definitely really interesting and I thought it was incredible. So another bonus book for you in this video. And finally, we're on to our last book. I have started reading the Reformatory. This is the biggest and the most intimidating book of this video, and I decided to leave it to last, and I don't know why I've done that. But basically, I am 80 pages into this so far, and it's already like making me feel something. So I'm so intrigued to really delve into the story and follow this character. I feel so sorry for Robert already. He just isn't, he's only 12 by the way in this story, and he's already been treated so horribly and has been sent to the Reformatory, and that's basically where I'm at already. The tension in this story is crazy and I'm so intrigued to see where this one goes. I have a long way to go, but it's currently gripped me, and I know if a book this big with only 80 pages in has gripped me already, I feel like this is definitely going to be a favourite read, maybe even a 5-star book. So now this is the last book for this video, and the next clips you'll see will be me reading this, and then I will check back in with my final thoughts and review on the book. So currently this is going really well. Let me know in the comments if you've read these books as well, what you think of them. So I've now just finished the last book for this video, The Reformatory, and what a book to be ending this horror reading vlog on. I am ashamed of myself for holding this book back for 2 years now. I know there's a lot of talk on the BookTube, book talk community about this book and how incredible it is. and I understand the hype and the appreciation for the work. I was just very intimidated by the length, but it was definitely worth the time that I took to read it. I feel like as a white person I shouldn't really be reviewing a book like this. I don't have any criticisms whatsoever. I thought it was an incredible book. The way that this story was told and the social commentary that was outlined in this book was really food for thought. So essentially the book is following Gloria and Robert. They are siblings. Robert is around 12 years old and he gets accused of attacking a little white boy, and he gets sentenced to 6 months in the Reformatory for boys. It is segregated, and he has to face the realities of certain opinions based on skin color and how life is actually like. And you could see him kind of lose a sense of his innocence. And his sister Gloria is fighting to get the accusation and the actual sentence taken off of Robert so that he can go back home, because like nothing really happened, but because of the color of his skin he was made an example of. And it's kind of following the journey between both perspectives, from Gloria's and also from Robert's, who is at the Reformatory. And the Reformatory elements are very ghostly and haunting. It is such a visceral experience, and I feel like the horrors aren't necessarily based upon the supernatural in this book. It's really down to the human side. We have obviously political stuff in here, we have ghosts, we have horrible humans, and just horrible conditions and pure evil. And it was written in such a page-turning way. I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend picking it up if you are interested in those subtopics and kind of getting a little bit of a background. I know this is fiction and it is heavily dramatized and made into be like a ghost story, but it is set around real life events, and that is the most horrific thing, which makes this book even tougher to read. But it is such a beautiful one, and I really loved reading this book. So this is the reading vlog. I hope you have enjoyed. This has been full with so much activity and so many incredible books. We literally just past this weekend we went pumpkin picking as well, so we've had an incredible autumn kind of month, and I hope you have enjoyed watching this. We ended up carving our pumpkins, and I made a lot of food using the pumpkin. I made Axel some pumpkin treats as well, because he did pick his own pumpkin at the patch, which was so cute and incredible that he was allowed to be in the patch. He was running around the pumpkin patch and also got to pick his own, like I said. So we took that home and we cut it up, cooked it, and made some pumpkin treats for him, which he absolutely loves. That little dog enjoys pumpkin so much. So that was really fun, and I'm so glad those treats came out how they did. They're in the shape of little pumpkins as well, so I was just so pleased with how that came out. And I also am planning to make some pumpkin bread. Again, the first one failed, but I'm hoping that the second round will go better. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you do like this type of content, I'm happy to do some more vlogs like this. But do let me know in the comments any thoughts or opinions. I would love to know. If there's anything you'd like to see from me next, drop them in the comments as well. And I guess just let me know what you're doing for Halloween. It'd be really cool to figure out if you've got any plans, or if you just want to pop by, let me know, drop a pumpkin, and I will catch you in the next one. So keep your pages turning, happy Halloween, and I will see you next time. Bye!